and we don't have any progress in the middle of the park. And I think it's become rhetoric. I think everybody just uses those words, in my opinion, loosely. Because when you talk about Ghana's midfielders not progressing the ball, the one thing you want to ask yourself is, did the ball in any way get to our forward players? Because you don't need your midfielders to always progress the ball for you. It's a fallacy, right? Yeah, we have a lot of, generally, midfielders are the best passers of the ball in any team. But not every team uses its midfielders to get the ball to their front men. So the first ask is, did our front men receive the ball in the opposition half a lot of the times? The answer is yes. So quite simply, we progressed the ball quite well enough, even though it wasn't necessarily done by our midfielders. And to be fair, even our midfielders in that first half were sending the ball forward, because we saw a lot of Semenyo, we saw a lot of Kudus, we saw a lot of Jordan, not so much of Inaki, but even he was high up the pitch. But what surprised me about Otto's team was how deep our back line was. Because when you play against Chad, and you've got that front four, I was expecting that the back line would push up a little bit so that we could squeeze Chad in their own half. They don't have better quality players. They are not comfortable on the ball. They don't string passes together. They try to hit long and chase the ball. But if you are squeezing them, they don't even have the opportunity of hitting long. But if you look at how far back our back line was, it was staggering. And another thing was, the team almost looked like a 4-2-4, where the back line was static, the two midfielders were static, and the front four were allowed to go in and do whatever they wanted to do in the final third. But again, if you have your two DMs in Elijah Wusu and Salis, my thinking is the coach is protecting the back line or keeping the back solid, or keeping the midfield also intact. So I was surprised that you couldn't risk Gideon Mensah and Yurenchi a lot more, because anytime our wide players got the ball, they were very isolated, and normally they would be confronted by 2 or 3 defenders from Chad. Then they would have to dribble them. We didn't see overlapping runs from Mensah. We didn't see overlapping runs from Yurenchi. We barely saw them attacking. I thought that was coaching instruction. Because when you've got 2 DMs and your fullbacks are attacking, you're expecting your DMs to cover shadow the spaces they leave behind. Otherwise, what's their use and what's their purpose in the team? So I was surprised that the manager didn't trust his fullbacks to join, enough in attack, and also push up the centre backs a bit higher up the pitch, so we could squeeze Chad in their own half. Because we didn't necessarily have sustained attacking spells where we are on Chad, we are keeping pressure on them, we are in their half, we lose the ball, we win it again in their half. We never did that because of how deep our back line was.
Before you continue though, just to play the devil's advocate and give Otoado the benefits of the doubts, is there any scenario, any tactical scenario that may have informed Otoado's decision to set up in that manner? Because usually when you have the front four that further up the pitch, the midfield have to back them up. Then you have the defensive line also pushing up a few meters higher. But this was very strange to see. Are you able to hazard a guess as to what perhaps may have informed Otoado's decision to adopt that? Kwame Juma just walked into the studio. But he says that every time he sees me.
Hey,
but between the two of us,
this simple thing we talk prognosis, we do fiction. I know. Come on.
Between the two of us, he's a lecturer. He teaches in about 4 universities. Kwame Juma.
Kwame is a big man.
No. There's a reason why he's called the richest sports journalist.
Billionaire journalist.
Billionaire journalist. Yeah.
The richest of our time.
Yeah.
I mean, on your question, there's none apart from a manager who is scared and a manager who is unnecessarily maybe trying to be pragmatic, or doesn't have enough confidence in his team. Because Chad don't counter attack well. They don't even have good carriers of the ball.
Yeah.
They don't even have a striker whose holder play is brilliant. So if you had a team that could counter attack very well, then you're looking at how to break that counter attack. So you're leaving a lot more bodies behind. You have a striker who has got a great holder play. You're also scared that when the ball is kicked long against one of your centre backs, you could hold up the play, invite others in, or maybe take them on. But everything that goes against a team that shifts its line a bit higher and squeezes the opponent to their own half, Chad have got no weapons in your armory to destabilize any team that plays like that. So I think everything was in Otto's own head, that he was trying to be very cautious. And so throughout the game, like I said, he's not risking his wing backs or full backs to join in attack, because there were many times where Semenyo would cross the ball, maybe slightly overhit the ball, and the ball goes to the far side. If you have your full back attacking, he picks up the ball, swings it another ball. Gideon Mensah is one of our better crossers of the ball in the team. He never really got himself in crossing positions because I think it's an instruction. He was playing very deep. And so everybody's pointing fingers to our midfielders that they didn't progress the ball. They were in that. That's not true. Our attackers had the ball a lot of the time, but whenever they had the ball, they were isolated or they were on their own. They had to dribble, they had to take on people, they had to pass the ball back into midfield, and that was very lethargic. And then when we got into the second half, again, I think it was complete and total disrespect for Chad. The boys were playing as if we are Ghana, we'll beat Chad. Whatever happens, the goal will come.
But
we don't need to sweat it.
But we are Ghana.
We've been Ghana for a long time, and people have been Ghana. I mean, yeah. Since the day you made that press conference and said we are Ghana, you knew
Charlie.
Since you remember the Gabon draw,
yeah,
where Capito got angry that the fair play, they were not fair, they were not gentlemen, a player was down, and said, "But we are Ghana, we'll beat Comoros and qualify." Since that press conference, you knew. So we are Ghana hasn't worked.
but we are Ghana was said way before that one self.
Oh, that one.
No, but
the previous ones were not that popular. But this one,
this is the we are Ghana that we are talking about. So for me, like I'm saying, in the second half they turned up, and there was a counter-attacking opportunity where Mohamed Kudus and Inaki Williams, like Kudus has the ball, Inaki has the ball to Kudus. Kudus can make the run, slows the ball, keeps the ball, passes the ball back to Antoine Semenyo. By that time, Salis is holding his waist on the other side of the pitch, and then nobody's giving the ball to him.
And Salis had just come on, I think, about a few minutes before.
No. Salis was playing. He started. Salis. No, Salis. No, Salis. You know, so for me, in that second half, they were very, very. It lacked energy. It lacked any desire. It lacked any ambition. And it was total, complete disrespect to the opponent, Chad. Because if they were playing against Mali away from home, I'm not sure they behaved that way. If they were playing against Egypt, Cameroon, Morocco, all these things, I'm not sure they behaved that way. It was a simple matter of we are leading by a goal to nil. We beat these guys by 5 when they came to Accra. Here in their own grounds, they've not threatened the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper has almost been on a holiday. They're not asking questions of the defense. It's almost easy when we pick the ball, but we just don't want to do the extra and get past people and play some shots and everything. And in the end, the team just couldn't pick themselves up. And I'm looking at the bench. I'm thinking the manager needs to react. He has to react because you need to bring on players who still has something to prove because they've just got into the Blackstars, or you want to bring in players who in the last recent years have not necessarily been stable with the team, so they still have some burning fire or sensation within them to want to go on. And when he did that, but almost late in Kamaldeen and Bonsuba, we saw that straight away. It wasn't a question of the pitch. It wasn't a question of the players not being able to run, because when Bonsuba and then Kamaldeen came on, we didn't really another pitch for them to play on. It was the same pitch that the others were playing on, and we saw that straight away there was a bit more energy and a bit more sharpness to the way we're carrying the ball forward. But by that time, some of the players looked tired, and the manager didn't react by changing the midfield at the time. Then they got their lucky goal by that a deflection. But of course, it was coming because we're never really applying ourselves enough.
Was it a lucky goal? When they were attacking, the boys stood there aloof watching.
I say a lucky goal because I don't think the shot was great. I don't think the shot was great. I don't think it was a great shot. The deflection made it. Yeah. So yes, I mean it's a deserving goal that they got, but I think it's a lucky one based on the fact that it deflected wrong for the goalkeeper, because the shot itself, in my opinion, wasn't great.
It was going off target.
Yeah. Yes, it was going off target. So for me, it was just Ghana dropping 2 points. And it wasn't necessarily because Chad posed any questions or whatsoever. We were our own undoing in that game.
Now, I want to ask Kwame a question. Kwame,
no, I
if
need
you are
your
from
own
Chad,
opinion first.
If you are from Chad, how do they call you?
Chadian.
The Chadians, where they play in the sky.
well, that's a question I want you to answer.
They played on the same pitch.
Yes.
They played on the same pitch.
Muftawu, Otto sort of foreshadowed that in his pre-match presser when he said you were surprised CAF allowed such a pitch, and then after the game he came and said the pitch was a contributing factor. How much of that should we take?
I don't even take that. I'm not sure the pitch was the reason why the players were walking. I'm not sure the pitch is the reason why the team had a counter attack and Kudus decided to take the ball backwards. I'm not sure the pitch is the reason why the opportunities that came their way, they did not take any of them. Clearly, this was a team that lacked desire on the day. As Sicho has mentioned, in the first half, there was this level of energy that everyone thought, the script that we all saw in the first leg when it happened at the Accra Sports Stadium. We were all going to see something similar. I remember we were here when Samuel Dami walked in and said, "Oh, this Chad team, how many goals do you think the team can score?" I said, "Oh, minimum 4." Minimum 4. But the boys went on the pitch and showed us something completely different in the second half. And it's not as if this is the first time we're actually even witnessing such a lack of desire from the team. We saw it during the AFCON qualifiers. People have varied reasons why they gave such a performance, but some of those things I do not subscribe to them. So trying to tell me that the players did not give up their best simply because 48 hours to the game, a minister held a press conference and
we'll get into those later.
I'm just citing some of the factors people said might have contributed. Yeah. But clearly, if you have, as a coach, right, if you have a few players who are drawing your game back, what do? You have the power. You are paid to take decisions. Otorado, Ghana pays you $50,000 every single month to make decisions that will inure to the benefit of Ghanaians. So if you go out there and a few players decide that this is a game we are going to walk on the pitch, you've got the power to pull them out and bring in players who are hungry. Sitsofe has just mentioned it. When Kamaldeen came on, he was having a go at them. When Christopher Babonsu came on, he was having a go at them. So at that point, what changed about the pitch to the extent that they could progress the ball much better, cut them open, but when the other players were on before the inclusion of Kamaldeen and Christopher Babonsu, the pitch was hard and slow for them to progress the ball. What happened? What about the numerous chances that the team had and could have buried them? We all recall the one that went to Semenyo. There was one that went to Inaki. There was one that went to Kalepirenchi. All these were opportunities. How did they progress the ball to that point? And now you're telling me that sometimes some of these things are quite difficult to actually appreciate. And I always look at them and I struggle to understand why. Maybe they don't want to use the word excuses, but I think they are giving excuses as to why the team did not get all maximum points, and that is quite unfortunate.
Okay. Kwame Jumajiman, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Your club has changed names there.
Let's discuss the Blackstars.
From one Legon Cities to another Legon Cities.
Yeah.
How?
We will. But today the matter of import is the Blackstars.
So what brought from the matter of import?
He taught me. Kwame taught me. After seeing everything, you've had time to reflect on that game. What went wrong?
Nothing. Nothing.
How come we didn't win?
We won't always win.
Okay.
I have listened to a lot of things since the game was played yesterday and this morning, and I can understand why people would have all kinds of opinions as far as this game is concerned. And I've heard some very strange arguments for and against. I don't know how you'd want to put it, but this is the thing for me. You're playing on match day 7. You have 4 hours. You have 4 games to playing in USA, Canada, or Mexico. We know what the World Cup has done to the profiles of many players, and we know how the World Cup has transformed the lives of many players. In fact, in 2013 here in Ghana, I recall a story of a certain Ifri Yauka who did not play a single World Cup game, but once he found his way into the squad list for the team that we playing in Brazil, he was laughing all the way to the bank with $100,000 in there. What is the point I'm trying to make? If you appreciate the importance and the relevance of the game that you're going to be playing, you know you have to step up. Yeah. You know you have to put in a performance. So whether it's Chad, whether it's Madagascar, whether it's Comoros, whether it's Mali, or whether it's whoever, the most important thing is to get a result against them, so that you don't put yourself in a position where the games that you're going to be playing subsequently, you're going to be starting from a very difficult position. If we had won this game, we would have been talking up, having a 5-point lead and getting a result against Mali, God willing, and then possibly just strolling through the last 2 matches. Now we have put ourselves in a position where if we fail to get all 3 points against Mali, and Madagascar somehow gets a result in their next game, and I think they would, and then all of a sudden we are that close, or maybe they are even better than us and all of that, and then we go into the final 2 matches doing the maths. And you and I know that when we get into the situation where we have to do the maths, it never seems to go well for us. Anytime we have to do the maths to decide whether we qualify for one stage of a competition or the other, most often it doesn't go in our favor. And that's why a lot of people are worried. If it wasn't about that and we got a result, I don't think anyone would. But just like you said, why couldn't we get all 3 points, or why were we not good enough to get all 3 points? I was sharing a joke with someone earlier this morning that maybe, just maybe, because we have played against nations like Chad, Comoros, Madagascar a number of times in the last 10 years, maybe, just maybe, some of the last thoughts it was an AFCON qualifier, and maybe we're not in a position to qualify whether we got a result or not. So it was just about going through the motion for 90 minutes. They maybe. That's what I'm saying, maybe. Maybe they just forgot that it was a World Cup qualifier. Because if it was a World Cup qualifier, what did you see about 90 minutes of action that would make you think, beyond the goal that we scored, and then beyond 1 or 2 opportunities that we created, that made you think that these guys really want to go to the World Cup? What would make you think that way? And that's why a lot of people are worried. Because when you look at the body language, like my brother Muftawu and Sitsofe said, you didn't get that impression from the players that we are only a few games away from destiny, pretty much.
Yeah.
How many of these players played in Qatar? About 4 or 5 of them. So for a number of these guys, it will be a brilliant opportunity. How many times haven't we have a conversation about players whose careers were going nowhere, and out of nothing, a World Cup opportunity changed their whole lives? In 2013, I doubt whether there were many Ghanaians, never mind their love for football, who knew that there was a gentleman called James Rodriguez. He was playing for Monaco at the time. No one knew him. He has a fine World Cup in Brazil, and we know what happened. In 2010, we had our own Kevin Prince Boateng. Yes, maybe a few people would have been following his career, Portsmouth and all of that before that. We know what the World Cup did to his career. He was probably on his way to Genoa, we're told. And before we knew it, he was with Milan. So, if you know all of this as a player, and you know how influential the World Cup could be to your career as a player, whether it's in the short term, whether it's in the medium term, or it's in the long term, you don't give excuses like it was the pitch. The Chadians were not playing on the sea, for crying out loud. The stadium itself is a relatively new stadium. So it's not like a facility where the Chadians have played 100 games there. We knew that we're going to be playing on a pitch like this. Any particular reason why we're training on grass ahead of the game? Any particular reason why?
That would be for the coach to explain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any particular reason why? Because in the presser before the game, the coach is heard arguing that the pitch is not great and he was worried about it and all of that. Any particular reason why, if we knew we were going to be playing on an Astro or whatever it was, we don't have a facility here like that where we could have trained on? Because remember, when we played against Sudan in Libya, look at the matches where we have not had to play on grass. We have struggled. And the Sudan game readily comes to mind. That pitch, we're told, was also Astro. And we saw how we struggled in that game. Everybody who recalls that game that we lost to Christiapia Sudan would know this. Yeah. So if we knew all of these things going into this game, player quality we have, are you telling me that before any of these guys, apart from the ones who were born in Abuja, those who moved from here before they found their careers outside, none of them have played on worse pitches than this one? So for me, it's just a case of excuses. I don't want to hear that. The good thing is that we are still in a very, very good position. I cannot decide for you how you go about the program, but I just wish a lot of energy would go into the game on Mali. But because of what we saw, we can also overlook that, and that's why we are discussing it.
Yes.
So that if these guys appreciate what we're discussing, and they themselves, the World Cup means so much to them, they will quickly say we had a bad day at the office. The managers will look at the game and say we had the bad days at the office from a technical standpoint. But great for us, we have a very fine opportunity to make amends against Mali, and we are good to go. I don't want to hear the excuses because they become nauseating at the point.
Right.
Hey, another buffo.
There's a reason he's a lecturer. We will have We'll continue with the team itself, but for the time being, let's hit the lines here and hear from former chairman of the Ghana Football Association, Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe. He also watched the game and, like all of us, was very worried with the performance and, more importantly, the fact that we simply were not able to win. Doc, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Joy 99.7 FM. First of all, what, in your view, led to the team's failure to get that win against Chad yesterday?
Firstly, let me make one thing clear, that no sane person, a player or a team, will go into competition and wish a failure. No sane person will do that. But what happened yesterday was so hurting. First and foremost, the boys, including the coach, to me, were not committed to the country. They were not. Now, secondly, it was clear that the coach had no control at all over the boys. They did their own thing. So if the coach had a control over them, he could correct them or ask them to change their tactics right from the bench. He never did it. Even after break time, the same mood these boys were in. Now, I think we have to look carefully at the boys we send to represent it. But it appears most of the boys we have now are not at all interested in really helping the nation Ghana.
Doc, if you could help us,
very important.
If you could help us understand your point of view better, when you say that it didn't appear as though the coach had control of the team, what do you mean?
It was quite clear. Look, I've been in this game for years. If a coach finds his boys not doing what he expects them to do, that's why they are allowed to get close to the line. He shouts on them or calls one of them to come closer. But here we have a situation when ball was going on or the play was going on for minutes. And the boys were just playing with the ball as if they were just joking. This is a competition. The state has wasted money in flying them there. And I say again that this coach has no control over the boys. I'm not a kid. If he had control over them, definitely he would have made the move in withdrawing some of them and immediately replacing them with other boys. Because we had other boys on the bench there. I mean, these people should not play at all with us in this country. These boys, if they are not interested in playing for the nation, they should just refuse if they are called. We can't have this thing continuing like that.
Doc, there are those who have also tried to make sense of the factors that led to that performance and the results by suggesting that the sports minister's press conference 48 hours before the game that made public details of the team's budgets and the fact that the management committee's bonuses and per diems had been scrapped and the fact that some of the line items had been scrapped were responsible or could have affected the mood of the players, even though that press statement did not specifically attack or take anything away from what the players were already agreed to be earning. What's your view on that?
No, that is totally nonsense. Look, just as you said yourself, nothing of the players was touched. So what is their problem? If those are the efforts or those handling them are those who have been affected, then we have to be careful. Then we have to change all of them. Because we can't depend on them when it comes to loyalty. So that excuse, to me, is totally nonsense.
Right. Doc, before we go, though, if you have any advice for Otuado, because it appears now we've made our bed with him. We've got, about 4 games to conclude the qualifying series, and it may not be ideal to change coaches. If you have any advice for him ahead of Monday's game and for the rest of the qualifiers.
At the moment, what I see is the coach himself, Otuado, is a problem. He is the problem. And right from the onset, when he was being brought in, when the team was being given to him, I said he will not be the suitable person because he has not really got close to this our Blackstars team. He is in Germany and he comes at his own pleasure. But yet, despite my warning, he was given the team. Now, you are experts when it comes to journalism. Calculate how many matches he has won, how many matches he has lost, and how many matches we have drawn.
He's won 5 out of 15 matches. He's drawn 5 and he's lost 5. That's 33.3% winning. That's the winning rates for.
That is awful. That is awful. If you know it himself, it's disgraceful. If I were a coach like him, I would have resigned immediately. The only thing I'm praying that the boys will come out to play out their heart on Monday, so that we might be able to defeat the Malians. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay, Doc, thank you very much for your time with us on Game Plan this afternoon.
Thank you also.
That was Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe, former chairman of the Ghana Football Association. He chaired the committee that produced the coach who qualified Ghana for the very first World Cup back in 2004, I think, for the Blackstars of Ghana. Anyway, let's move the conversation on here. But before we do, though, the Joy Sports editor, Fentio Tahir Fentio, is back and he's joining us on Zoom.
When you say he's back, it means that he's here. He's not here.
No, he was. No, he was with us in the morning. Yeah, so now he's back. That's what I mean. My brother, you seem to be in very high spirits. Just give us a summary of what you think led to that performance and the result yesterday.
Thank you, Atsu. Hi to all the guys in studio. I don't know what Muftawu's mischief is all about. I am back. What is his problem?
The only thing is that I can see your cheeks. Now I can see. I can appreciate what the weather has done to those cheeks.
The morning he wasn't there. Me, I was there in the morning and I've come back in the afternoon. He's asking you that. Where was I there? In the morning,
those who are listening to us now, were they listening to you in the morning?
Your friends is greeting you.
Yo, Sue.
Listen, hey Kwame, Senior, how are you?
I'm well, and you?
Are you not
a big man? It's a big man.
Oh, he's a big man. Kwame is a
Look at these people.
Yes. The Kwame works for the only football club that every other year they will take up another club and collect their name, change their name. Every other year. So you say if you get some club, be careful. 2 years club, you will come collect them, change the name.
Chameleon FC, they have the money, so if they get bored, no, they will come and take over your club.
Oh, if you joke around and take your club and change the name. Listen, anyway, I think Kwame and Sitsofe, like, the guys have really said everything, to be honest, because yesterday's game, look, everything else that accounted for that performance pretty much has been said, to be honest. And it absolutely had nothing to do with what the minister did. For me, that's the point that I need to make very strongly. This was a performance issue. It was a footballing issue. It was a coaching issue. It was a physical issue. It had nothing to do with the minister's press conference. And let's stop this digression and this dereliction and this attempt to sway attention from what really matters. This is a team that has a history of completely bottling games that they should be winning routinely. And let's point it out and be honest with ourselves. That's the only way we will improve, because every time the team loses a game, we're always finding different reasons for why they lost, other than the real reasons why they lost or didn't win a particular game. Because I don't know if anybody pointed it out, but the truth is we didn't qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations. We played 6 matches. Kofi Adams wasn't there. He didn't do any press conference. Nobody's bonuses were slashed, or nobody's bonuses were revealed. And we didn't win a single game out of 6. So then in that case, to what accounted for that? So it's that whole conversation is neither here nor, it's neither there nor here nor, like, it's hogwash. Let me put it that way. And I can't believe that people that should know better, that are towing this particular line. It's irresponsible. Because we say we want accountability, they're giving us accountability, and now you're saying that the accountability is why the team isn't performing? Are you against accountability? There is no right time for accountability. Yes, I agree that maybe the minister could have done this at a different time. That is a completely good opinion to have. That perhaps he should have done this the moment he received it, maybe the week he received it, whatever. And that is completely legit. However, it is not the reason the team didn't win against Chad. There were footballing reasons. The first half, Ghana were much better, created lots of opportunities. They took one. Semenya should have scored. We had so many other opportunities in that first half where we should have scored a second goal and at least put a ceiling going into the first half break. We didn't do that. We didn't take advantage of this. Then we came back in the second half and we played like there was nothing at stake. You get punished because in football, it's not always the team with the most talent that wins. It's who shows the most desire. And yesterday in that match, our players played like there was nothing at stake. Chad played like they needed it more, and they got what they deserved. The least Chad deserved in that game was the draw that they got. In the aftermath of it, instead of us to try to understand why the team was so poor, we are assimilating reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with the performance. Because let's be honest here, the press conference that the minister did, he didn't touch the bonuses of the players. That's not the first time they had agreed that they would take $5,000. The match day 5 and 6, that's how much they were paid for that. So it is not the first time that the players were hearing that they were going to get $5,000 as winning bonuses. So how exactly did it affect them? It's not new information. In fact, the only people that were affected by the revelation of that press conference are the management members of the GFA. They are the only ones that were affected by budgetary cuts. The players were not affected in any way. So how then does that press conference tend to affect the players when everything said at that press conference had nothing to do with the players? Their monies were not cut, bonuses were not slashed, per diems were not slashed. They didn't say don't eat this food. They didn't say don't do this, don't do that. Everything that was for the players was approved. The only things that were not approved in that budget were the outrageous and unscrupulous line items that the GFA put in the budget. So the players, the coaches, whatever, it had nothing to do with them. So let's be honest with ourselves and try tackling what the real issues are. This team has a history of bottling games when it really matters. And Kwame mentioned it. I heard him at the beginning. That we've played matches against Niger, we lost at home. We played Niger in Morocco. We in fact, we had blamed the pitch for why we lost to Angola in Marseille. Then we went to Morocco to play against Niger. Perfect pitch conditions. What happened in that game? It was a 1-1 draw. We were so bad in that particular game. Then we played the same Niger here at home and ended up losing.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that all those times there were press conferences or there were budgetary issues. What accounted for all of that? We need to start, and I think, this team has reached a point where, look, I don't know what it is, but it appears that it's very, very necessary for Otuado to start to trust a lot of the new faces more. I don't want to pick out players and say it's this player's fault or that player's fault, but we saw during the Unity Cup, Otuado try a lot of new players who excelled. And they tried new formations that seemed like they were perfectly suited for this particular new team. I think we need to be a bit more ambitious, because see, if you look at our midfield pairing, yes, it's not only midfielders' job to progress the ball, but the whole idea of the setup was a bit too conservative for me. And our fullbacks were too static. Gideon Mensah had a poor game, and it's not the first time that Gideon Mensah had a poor game in Ghana jersey. But what decision was taken about that? We brought in a new left back, Derek Korn. He was on the bench. We didn't try him. If I look at the changes that the coach made towards the end, when he brought on Silemane and brought on the Saudi Arabia kid,
Christopher Babonsu,
the performance improved. So clearly, it was obvious that from the very beginning of the second half, given the way the players were performing, it needed an injection of new players. And he waited a bit too long to make those changes, in my opinion. So, look, there has to be a point where, and yet again, I think that, I don't know what it is, but we've never, and the unfortunate thing is that it was Otuado who gave Inaki Williams his Blackstars debut. And yet, 2 years or so down the line, we still haven't found a way to make proper use of this guy. Yesterday, again, he was so isolated. It was almost as if he wasn't part of the front four. So what must we do to try and get him to perform at optimal level? Let's be honest. Ever since Inaki Williams came into the national team, we've not gotten the best out of him. It had nothing to do with his quality, because clearly we can see that he's a quality player.
One thing is for sure: after the international break, he will score.
There you go.
That's standard. He will come flop. They will go show you, say, they score for a club.
You understand?
Yeah.
Even in terms of here's another point for you. In terms of even the mentality and how the whole noise must have affected the players. Semenyo was racially abused in a game that was halted for more than 5 minutes. After that, he went on to score 2 goals.
Bang, bang.
Against Liverpool. So it's not a mentality issue. It's not that. So you are telling me that press conference is what affected him much more than being racially abused in a critical game in the Premier League? And yet yesterday he had a great opportunity, should have scored, and he shot it over the bar. So we need to address the real issues with the team rather than focusing on a lot of these things that don't really matter. So I think that, for me, we've given Otuado enough opportunities so far in his second coming. A 33% win rate in a national team like Ghana is not good enough. For a coach that couldn't win a single game in AFCON qualifying, a coach that cannot beat Chad, a coach that can't beat Niger, not just can't beat Niger, that lost to Niger in 2 games against Niger. I'm not saying that those teams are nothing, but we've seen other teams play against those teams and have completely dismantled them. So why can't we do it? What makes the other team so good? Why is Angola so good that they can destroy Niger and we can't? Why can every other member of our 6-team group be able to beat Niger and we can't? Why is that possible? So we need to start to look within.
All right, friends, we will move on to the next leg of the conversation here. Try to forecast the Mali game and see under what circumstances or what selection would work. And then on the back of that, we would look at this sports ministry thing properly, and even the items in the budgets that were scrapped and the issue of the previous budgets that were approved. Because this week we are now learning that the Blackstars coach actually had the opportunity to earn $20,000 per game as winning bonus if he had won games during the AFCON qualifiers, and somehow he was not even able to win a single one of those.
The World Cup qualifiers, he won some, so definitely he got it.
But I'm saying that for the AFCON qualifiers, no one cry. So, but those are not the only line items in the budget. We'll get into that shortly. But Game Plan is proudly brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, and Betway get way more. Hello, Ghana. Remember the excitement, the dreams we fuel together? Well, for 10 incredible years, Petrosol Platinum Energy celebrated with you in Energizing Dreams promo. We poured joy into your journeys, rewarded your loyalty, and shared in your aspirations. But as the sun rises on a new day, so too there's a new chapter for Petrosol Platinum Energy. Now, while the anniversary celebrations have concluded, our promise remains unwavering to be your trusted partner on every road in every endeavor. Petrosol Platinum Energy is a triple ISO certified, multiple award winning, with over 100 stations nationwide, and we continue to deliver the quality fuels and lubricants you depend on. We remain committed to energizing your dreams, fueling your progress, and powering Ghana's growth. Our tagline says it all: Petrosol, energizing dreams, is not just a slogan, it's our enduring commitment to you. So visit any of our 100 stations across Ghana and experience the Petrosol difference. Quality you can trust, service you can rely on. Petrosol Platinum Energy, still energizing your dreams. Now, this month we're bringing you the Joy News Habitats Fair third clinic updated, and it's happening from Friday, September 12 to Sunday, September 14 at Good Park near Accra Mall for the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair third clinic 2025. So make sure that you pass through, because whatever your home needs are, right, we have got something there for you. If you're looking to build, if you have started building, yours is at a foundation, lintel, roofing, whatever stage you're in, there is something there that you're going to get at a very competitive price. So let's help turn your home ownership dream into a lived reality. This is probably brought to you by Drive EVGH, Drive into Sustainable Future, by EcoBank and the Pan-African Bank, Virtual Security Africa, Security for All, Safety and Home Solutions. You think of decor, we have it. Superlock Technologies Limited, you deserve the best. DPS Pipes, connecting you to life. Elegant Homes and General Constructions Limited, where quality meets value. Gold Key Properties, transforming the landscape. Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services, app Bako Services Bebre. It's 13 minutes gone past 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, Kwame Jomo, the former Deputy Sports Minister, Evans Bobie, then the Ibrahim Sanidara, or the former Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sanidara, and a former Executive Council member of the GFA, Kojoyanka. Yeah, he used to be the RFA boss in the Western region for quite a number of years. All three of them, in the last 18 hours, have blamed yesterday's performance on the timing of the sports minister's press conference on Tuesday. Their argument is that the players were demoralized and it took their focus away from that game. Even though, and I say this because people need to know, we need to lay the foundation for this. Tuesday's press statements and the decisions that were communicated on Tuesday, the Blackstars and issues related to the team itself and the player remunerations were not affected. Their bonuses were not slashed in this one. In fact, the last communication that we know of between the GFA and the ministry, the GFA had communicated to the ministry that they had already told the players of the decision to move away from $10,000 to $5,000 as far back as the first quarter of this year. So before the team played Chad in Accra, before the team played Madagascar, the players were aware of the
In fact,
agreements.
you're actually going too far.
That's how much they received.
Hang on.
So
When I went to the sports ministry,
yeah.
and they were there giving themselves credit for the Blackstars players now receiving $5,000. I told them the first ever assignment of Isaac Esiama when he flew to Gabon 2017 was to tell the players we cannot pay $10,000, we'll pay $5,000. It's been $5,000 since 2017. So when politicians now see that an opportunity to give credit,
I'm
to
saying that
themselves-
for this group.
no, yes, I get that point.
Yeah,
However,
because they were
yes, so
receiving $10,000.
anytime they went for tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Anytime they went for tournaments, that was where bonuses were often increased. But for qualifiers, it's always been 5,000 since 2017. At the ministry, like the boys were there giving themselves credit. And they looked at and say, as you can see, I did this. Do you remember Gabon?
And in fact, in 2017 in Gabon,
Yeah.
That press
I
conference.
happened to be there.
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah.
when the Honorable Isaac Esiama met the press
Yes.
and told us that henceforth, this is what was going to happen. So it's not like between 2017 and now anything has changed.
Has changed.
It's been 5K. It's when we get into tournaments, and then even that one, it is not per game, it is per stage.
Yes.
So, for
When
example,
you qualify.
I recall that at the last competition, it was if you progress through the group stages, it was 30,000 USD,
Yes,
CD
yes,
equivalent,
yes.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then at the quarterfinal or at the round of 16, depending on the format of the competition, you are paid a certain figure, and then a certain figure, and then a certain figure. So this is not new. So I'm not too sure where the former Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports is coming from with this one. And let's face it. Take any player. I just want to try and look at it in this case. You're a Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how much Brian Mbeumo is paid every week?
I haven't really checked, but it should be.
Or you have an idea, or you know?
It should be north of 100,000.
No,
When you
no,
move-
relax, you're going too far. How much was Rashford earning at Man United before he went to Barcelona?
£315,000, I recall.
Everyone knows it worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does any discussion on that affect his performance on the pitch week in, week out?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Does any discussion, affect him week in, week out when he has to step out on the pitch and deliver? No. And in the case of the Blackstars now, it is not as if their part of the wage was affected in any way or form. If there is if there's going to be any discussion on this, it would be with respect to the management committee. They had their wages literally slashed.
Okay. But so the reason the ministry will assume that they have achieved something was because in a letter dated February 5,
yeah.
the General Secretary of the GFA wrote to the Sports Ministry.
January 5 this year.
February 5.
February 5.
February 5 this year.
Yes.
Okay.
And in the fourth paragraph of that letter indicates that and I'm going to read to you. It basically said the team's winning bonus per match was $10,000. However, arrangements had been reached with the players so that half of that amount is paid to them as soon as they win a match, and the remaining half is kept and paid when the team eventually qualifies for the World Cup.
Okay.
If they are unable to qualify, they forfeit the remaining half of the 5,000 United States dollars, which the players had agreed to.
So the players were going to be paid 5K.
Hold on.
So the players were going to be paid 5K.
Yes.
What did you see on the budget?
10K. Now.
Okay, so we're going to be getting 5K.
Yes.
If they get to qualify.
And they will do
and we see
5K.
5K on the budget, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So nothing has changed.
No, everything has changed because the budget for round 1 and round 2, Comoros, Ghana, November 21, 2023. The budget for player bonus at the time was 10,000 each. And then the round 2, when we played Madagascar, November 17, 2023, the budget for player bonus, as we have it in the budget I have now,
Yes,
is
estimates.
10,000.
Yes.
It's estimates.
Yes.
Now, what the FA is saying is that the bonus is 10K. However, they have had an arrangement with the players. So the bonus the ministry knows they are paying is 10K.
Okay.
But they have made an arrangement with the players to give them
5K.
5 if they win the game.
If they win.
And if they qualify, they add the extra 5. So what that means is, I'm coming. What that means is, for every one of the games they'll play in these qualifiers, if they win, they receive 5K immediately. It is when they qualify that it totals to 10K per win. So that is what the ministry is now saying, that they are paying them 5K What we don't know, or what that maybe also communicates, is it doesn't have anything to do with qualification. When you win, it is 5k on their budgets that they are releasing money for. It's 5k, not 10k.
Sitsofe, at the press conference, the minister was clear.
What did he say?
Exactly what he read is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
We will give the players 5,000 if they win.
Yes.
When they qualify for the tournament, we'll give them the remaining 50% of what is supposed to be given to them.
Yeah. Yes.
So this arrangement, which was done long ago, is not anything new. The FA is just communicating to you as a new minister. This is the arrangement that exists. So it's on our budget or on our estimates, it is $10,000. However, out of that $10,000, you are going to give the players 5,000. Reserve the remaining 5,000. When the team eventually qualifies for the competition we are playing the qualifiers for, they will give the remaining.
So why are you budgeting 10,000 for player bonus for winning bonus?
So after that, they will go and do another budget and bring the money again for it to be paid.
For qualification, yes.
This is the point.
Yes.
So let me take you through the processes the minister said they go through. When the FA rise to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, these are our estimates for match A, B, or C. The ministry takes it, sits down, analyze it, and submit it to the presidency. When they submit to the presidency also analyzes it and decides that no, we will let you spend A, B, or C. When the presidency approves, they will send it back to the ministry with a letter directing the finance ministry to pay amount A, B, C for this World Cup qualifier. So when that money is paid to the sports ministry, it goes into the sports ministry's account. But the sports ministry knows that we budgeted $10,000.
But they didn't budget $10,000.
I'm coming. We budgeted $10,000 as winning bonus for the players. So when that money, the finance ministry will release all the $10,000 to the ministry. However, the ministry will pay the players $5,000, and the remaining $5,000 stays in the account of the ministry. After qualification, you are no longer going to go back to the finance ministry and tell them, give us the remaining $5,000 to give to the players.
Except that we know the specifics of this case, and the specifics are that for the budgets that was sent for the matches in question, this was for the Chad and Madagascar games. The bonus for the players was listed as $5,000, not 10.
No.
For the recent games?
No, it was not 5,000.
It was. That's the document.
The document we have, the budget.
Relax.
Relax. I have the document.
Relax. I also have the same document.
Do you have 10,000 there?
Yes. Let me just open. I also have the same document. I have the documents. Hang on. I have the documents from March 1 to March 7.
What is the figure?
In fact, including March 8.
Muftawu.
So no, let me just open it. Relax. Let me just open it.
I'm just saying that. Let's do this one at a time. Yeah, let's do this one at a time. Calm down. Hold on. I want us to
scan the game against Chad. Yes. I mentioned that the bonus, the amount of money the budgets had was 10,000.
Yeah.
Now you've explained that 5,000 we kept in the coffers, blah blah blah, and all of that. However, for this specific game, the game that Ghana played against Chad in March 21, 2025. Yeah. The bonus allocation for the players was 5,000. That's for the coach. That's for the coach was 10,000, and that for his assistant coaches were 5,000. I'm saying that prior to the arrangement we know that has been held, that the money has been held on the budget, it was 10k. So are you now saying that the 5,000 that they've put here
on this budget, it can't be the same?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
So hang on. March 1 to March 4.
Yeah.
March 1 to March 4. These were the matches that were played somewhere last year.
Yeah.
In the budget of the minister said it's estimates. So he describes it as estimates. Yeah. Until the presidency approves, it's not a budget. Those were the words of the
There's an estimated budget and there's an approved budget.
No, I'm just there. Yes. There are estimated budgets and there are approved budgets. When you estimate and bring, we decide that we're going to let you spend
because the minister has said. Wait. Don't continue.
I was at the press conference. I am telling you what the man said.
But we listen. I'm saying
guys, hold on. You see, there is a reason I want us to refer to. I have a document that I have mentioned. I want us to use that to set the foundation for the specific conversation. Okay, so
can we do this?
That's why I'm saying
Actually, can we do this?
That's why I'm saying that. The figure that I can defend is the documents that I have verified, right? And I'm saying that as far as the current iteration of the Blackstars bonuses is concerned, the very first that went to this ministry for the World Cup qualifiers that we're seeing, right, was the one dated February 5th. You get me? And that is what captures the 5,000 as the winning bonus. That's why I'm saying if there has been a subsequent communication from the GFA after this, right, we can have that conversation about that. But as far as this, the Chad, Madagascar games and yesterday's affair is concerned, this is what the ministry is aware of.
Okay. So we know.
Okay.
We know.
Can I come in?
It looks like Fent wants to say something. Okay, you let him go ahead.
Okay.
Hang
go
on.
ahead.
You say your document has what?
February 5.
February 5.
Yeah.
For the, is it Chad?
No, the letter the ministry wrote to the GFA wrote to the ministry.
Okay.
It's titled Submission of Budgets Extracts 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying matches.
Players.
Yeah.
Players.
Yes.
This is the GFA estimate.
In the second page.
I'm coming. This is the GFA estimate. $10,000. Head coach, $20,000. Approved budget. Coach, $10,000. Players, $5,000. So the GFA writes to the ministry, gives them the estimate. The ministry approves. The ministry has approved. What the ministry approved is the budget. What when there was an estimated budget.
And that's the clarity to all of this.
That's the clarity.
You see, you can submit a budget here,
FA,
or you work for an organization.
So the FA
you submit a budget of X amount.
But
what I would approve is Y amount. So we go with a Y.
What's in contention here is that I am referring to what the FA sent to the ministry.
So that would be an estimated budget.
The ministry didn't
what
approve,
was approved at the time?
Wait.
No, then you guys are saying two things. It means that the ministry didn't approve the 10,000, that would keep 5,000. Listen, they sent a budget of 10K.
Yes.
You are saying there was an arrangement that they would approve the 10K,
yes,
but they would hold 5,000.
Yes.
Then you are telling us that the approved budget is 5,000. It means that the extra 5,000 wasn't approved.
No. So
yes.
No. Hang on.
If I've written, wait, let me ask a question.
Everyone has a way.
Let me ask you a question.
Everyone has a way.
The only reason I brought in this, the only reason I brought in this was to answer to Muftawu's communication. Hold on. Because this was not to degenerate into banter. You indicated that they were celebrating as if they had done something unusual. And I was only saying that, well, if you get this communication from the GFA, they work through this with you, and they come to this realization, your impression is going to be, and when I say you, I'm referring to the ministry, their impression is going to be that, well, per the GFA, they were previously paying $10,000. No be so. So if today working with them, they are now telling us that they have money to get the boys to agree to 5,000. That's a win. That was the very foundation.
This February 5 letter that was sent to the ministry.
Yeah.
At what point was Kofi Adams appointed sports minister?
Kofi Adams came in, I think, a few days after this.
So they were just writing to notify him the arrangement that exists. It's a simple arrangement that we are communicating to you as a new minister who is not in office.
This
is what we have.
Actually, I want to ask Muftawu a question.
Let's move the conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sisho, we need to move the conversation on. No, we need to move the conversation on. Friends, you have seen the posturing of the former deputy minister, former GFA comms director, former executive council in all of this. Is this something the rest of us are missing in terms of what the lines they are able to draw between that Tuesday presser and the performance on Thursday?
Listen, Atsu, that back and forth, I really didn't understand it. If you look at the just one clarity, I just want to read something for you from the minister's speaking notes from the press conference just last 2 days ago, right? This was on Tuesday, I believe. This is what the minister read at the press conference where Muftawu attended and covered. If you look at the his speaking notes and you go down to the adjustments, number 2, it's titled, listen to it, it is titled Bonus Restructuring, Proposal from GFA under Review. And that document reads, it says the GFA informed the ministry that players have agreed to receive $5,000 per match as their winning bonus for now, with the remaining USD 5,000 to be paid cumulatively if the team qualifies for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This is what the minister said at the press conference.
Referencing that February 5 letter, essentially.
Yeah. So, yes. So then he goes on. He doesn't finish there. This is the minister's statement. This is not a lit letter or some... This is what the minister said on Tuesday. Then he goes on that same topic. He says, while this arrangement reflects a forward-looking commitment from the players, the government is still considering the long-term implications before fully adapting this model. So the GFA has told the ministry that this is the arrangement. But the ministry, per this statement, hasn't even fully adapted it. So it's not even guaranteed that even if they had qualified, that the minister would get up and pay them. And he says they are still considering the implications of
in the press conference, the minister was clear. The file is there. When they qualify, we'll give them the remaining money.
To you.
No problem. So I'm saying that this is what the minister read and then went on to say that the 5,000 is there, they will pay. No wahala.
No, thank you.
For me, I feel like
one thing you do not get is that the minister did not read it verbatim.
Muftawu, you're not helping the
No,
conversation.
the minister did not read the statement verbatim.
I will come to you
Hang
after
on,
him.
Atsu.
You will make the clarifications you want to. I don't want the conversation to degenerate into a banter. He will finish, I will come to you. So note the points of disagreement.
So I want to understand though, what is Muftawu's issue here? Like, I don't get
what I'm saying is that
No. I will not allow
the
you
minister
to invite Muftawu.
did not read what you just
As I have said, let's Fence finish. Muftawu, let Fence finish when he is done. Because you see, in the course of his analysis, you will get something that you disagree with again. And then you will make an intervention. We can't make progress that way. When he is done, respectfully, I will come to you. Then you will include these points of disagreement into your main points. Fence, finish.
You see, the bottom line is that I'm even saying that even if I don't find that the banter over how or what the minister said at a press conference is inconsequential to the conversation. What is essential is how this is going to affect our football, how this affects the Blackstars' performances, and the posture of the people involved in the accountability process that we are seeking. So this is the issue that we should be tackling. This is the issue that is at hand. Now, we know that a lot of the items in the budget that were revealed by the sports minister, a lot of them have courted public disaffection, not exactly for the team, but for the GFA members and the management committee members. So in trying to understand the angle from which a lot of these attacks on the minister are coming from, this is where you need to point to. Because you look at all the budgetary line items. In fact, the players' issue is actually the least of the problems. Because as Muftawu said, if the minister said the 5,000 is there, then so be it. Fine, the 5,000 is there. If you qualify, they will give you. I don't see why this is generating into an argument. If the minister says the 5,000 is there, if they qualify, they will give them. So be it. In fact, it even goes further to make our points that then the players were not affected in any way. This arrangement has always existed. The GFA were reiterating it to this minister, and the ministry says, okay, we'll put it under consideration. Now Muftawu says that the minister said, they've already even considered it and the 5,000 is there. Fine, then we move on. You understand? So now we are looking at what accountability process is. Listen, when the minister came, the match day 5 and 6 games, he was put under a lot of pressure to make public the budget. Not just by the public, but because the president had gone on television to say that matters of Blackstars budget can no longer be an issue of secret, a national secret. So the minister is only doing exactly what the president wants him to do. And since President John Dramani Mahama came in, you've noticed that there's been a lot of budgetary cuts and fiscal responsibility directions here and there. Government offices being, the DSTV subscriptions being taken away. Every minister seems to be under pressure to perform. Now, accountability is a good thing. In fact, all of us in the past have always criticized the issues of Blackstars budget being kept a secret. In fact, even this very NDC government have been in power at a point where people requested for Blackstars budget, and Mahama Ayarga, who was then sports minister, told us that discussions of budget are not important and that we should focus on other relevant issues. So this is a new change. This is a new direction, and we must all support it. We must understand, for example, why. And listen, nobody should tell me that because it's just a budget, and that if it's a budget and the minister comes and it's not approved, we shouldn't talk. No, the mindset that goes into putting certain line items into a proposed budget is what we should be questioning. Because if you look at what happened from match day 1, match day 2, match day 3, every single proposal that they sent to the ministry was approved. So if all of those proposals were approved, as Muftawu was saying, that it's a proposal, it's an estimate that they sent. But if you look at the details, Atsu, Sitsofe, you look at all the details, in fact, every single estimate for match day 1, match day 2, match day 3 that were submitted were all approved.
100%.
Thank you very much. So if you send another estimate and the minister comes out and he cuts those estimates, and it is possible to cut it by over $700,000, why shouldn't the minister deserve or take credit? Because in the past, the experience is that, and then the same estimates came from the same people. They made the same estimate, sent it, and the people approved it verbatim. The same people have made estimates, sent it to a new minister, and it's cut it by 700,000, and you say he shouldn't celebrate. Why shouldn't he celebrate? But even beyond that, we need to be questioning the mentality behind a lot of the things in the line items. Because why would you put in there for management committee members to be paid winning bonuses of $10,000? For what job exactly? Players are earning 5,000 with an agreement to pay the remaining 5,000 later, but management committee members can take their entire 10,000 at once, and you put that in the budget, and you say we shouldn't question or ask about your thinking process. It's stealing. It's thievery. Let's put it plainly. Whoever made the decision to put that there is thievery. In fact, we are coming from an era where we have been criticizing even the entire relevance of the existence of a management committee. And this is why some of us question the relevance of a management committee. The committee is there to siphon funds. Because tell me, what is their job? So important that they can take 10,000, or that you have agreed to put in the budget that they should be paid 10,000, and you say we shouldn't talk. But the players have agreed to take 5,000. But you put in there that management members should take 10,000.
Look,
what is wrong with you?
Friends.
Apart from that, Lucy, you see,
wrap up in a minute for me. Wrap up in a minute for me.
Joseph is a problem for Ghana football. You know why? Because he's called people ignorant for saying that the $5,000 was not only for that. The $5,000 was for fuel for bus. He said that it is for fuel for bus, saloon cars, referees, transportation. But we've all seen the budget they presented. They tagged it fuel for bus. I didn't see fuel for bus, saloon cars, why motor vehicles. No, you said fuel for bus. So if the people are questioning you based on what you submitted, and they're asking that why do you need $5,000 to fuel bus for 2 days for a game you are going to play away from home, then you turn around and tell me or tell the people that the the money there is not only for fuel for bus. You think we are stupid? We are illiterate. We cannot read.
In fact,
thank you very much.
There was a line item which is $5,000. Is it $500 or $5,000 to rent? $10,000 to rent cars for the officials. The car for officials.
The saloon cars. Situ,
so that one too is there. They're scheming. Do you know that? Listen,
it's okay.
Why is Fred so well?
It's okay.
Cool down.
Why?
Cool down for me.
Calm down.
Let me come to Situ. Let me come to Situ. Look, one of the items in the previous budgets that were approved. So I'm looking at the Comoros game, for example, November 21st, 2023. $60,000 for incidental expenses or impressed. $10,000 medical expenses. The bonus for the head coach.
Rental of facilities when they travel. Training facilities when they travel.
So you're looking at that document, right?
Yeah.
Why?
You see, the truth of the matter is, when you look at the budget, a lot of things that don't make sense. My point is, they are also charging, they're asking the ministry to give them money to rent facilities when they travel. When we know that when you travel, the host team is
makes
giving
some of these things available.
It's in the budget that they are renting training facilities, and it's not clear what they go out there to rent.
Even the Mali budget stuff.
The problem is, the problem is these budgets, these items repeat itself in almost every single one. You see, when I pick a budget,
it's a template.
When I pick a budget and match day 1, you are traveling away from home. Match day 3, you are going away from home, and I find some variance. I can understand that there's a proper
let's say on match
process.
day 1, you're traveling to, let's say, location A, which will come at a certain
cost.
Match day 2, you're traveling to location B, which will come at a certain cost. But you end up presenting literally the
same thing.
It's worrying.
And again, I tell you, the value of the dollar is different across every country. So you can't tell me they are going to play a game in Morocco. The amount of dollar you need for that game is the same as the amount of dollar you need to go and play in Chad. It's not true. You can't tell me that your interest of $60,000 for a game against Chad in Chad is the same amount of money you need for impress in a game.
It looks like it cuts across.
It cuts across. You see, and my point is, again, when you look at some of the things they are doing in their budget, the team as well, the kit officer, the dietitian, all of them are receiving $8,000. What sense does it make that a dietitian is receiving the same amount of money as a kit officer? I'm not saying there's no respect to the kit officer, but there are levels to this job.
Even $3,000 more than the player.
And if he's getting 8,000, it means that it's more than the player.
Oh, that was what was in the budget, but now I think they've slightly to
that's what I'm saying. It would have been more than the player.
Yes,
more than the real actors on the pitch.
And again, for that one, it was players were taking 10K, and they were
but even if the players were
taking 10K, why would the kit officer take
8,000? A kid officer 8,000.
And you see, this is the other thing.
You have a lot of money to spare like that.
How did the ministry at that time? So this is 2020.
That is why this ministry deserves a lot of credit. But even they have to do more, because look, the media team that they put in there.
To me, that they are paying some of the monies that they are paying today.
Yeah, the media team, I see media there.
Yeah,
receives 4,000 on the current one. Used to be 8,000.
No, the media has to be employees of the FA.
The media is a full-time. The media and the camera guy. The camera guy is also taking 8K. Then now 4K, which still doesn't make sense to me. These guys are full-time employees of the FA. Unless they tell us that they use consultants or they hire people when they are traveling, then we can say, oh, you're hiring some hardcore media. We are doing a Netflix documentary, so 4K, 8K, no problem. But if it's the same media people we know, our brother Henry Asante and co, and the same camera guys we know, who are day-to-day workers of the FA, whom you pay, why are you paying them bonuses when they travel with the Blackstars? You give them pay.
That's asking a question for the coach as well, because he's paid every month.
You give them you see, it's as for the coach.
See,
as for the coach,
as for the coach, bonus for the coach is outrageous.
Yes, and that one will come to it because the coach, you are being paid a month every month. That's your job. If you be paid some per diem and other things, I get it.
You are paid to win football matches. Why are you getting a winning bonus?
Absolutely. If you qualify us and we give you a qualification bonus, I get it. For the players, we don't pay them anything. So they come, they play a game, we give them something, they go. I get it. But you, the coach, you are fully employed. You see, you're not another 20 coach who is not being paid and all of that. You are fully employed, just as the comms people and the camera guys. Why should they be paid $8,000 because the Blasters are in town? Meanwhile, at the end of the month, you are being paid to be the same person at the FA. What sense does it make?
And do the same job.
Do the same job.
You see, for the coaches thing there.
So the ministry have to strike out some of these names. The camera guy, the comms people they are paying, strike it out. It doesn't make sense.
You see, Atsu, I will even make an argument for the management committee members over coaches.
I have a question for you. We have seen bonus officials $10,000 US each.
Yes.
That is supposed to be different from the
Indemnities to CAF officials and all that.
so those are because I want
Okay, so no, so this,
because
so this is the
I want to
explanation
I want
that
to frame the question properly. What is the difference between because from the bonus officials, my understanding is that those are the management committee.
that's what the minister said.
There is that,
Yes.
and then there is the FA contingent of 27
Yes.
that travels for games, and I'm not talking about backroom staff. If a contingent of 27 people,
Especially the contingent that went to Kumasi to go and sleep.
they are going. If a contingent of 27 people are going to travel with the team, why do you need a management committee?
Okay, so sometimes these are some of the funny things that happen. So the game against Chad, they flew supporters as well.
Yeah.
They will accommodate them and all those things. But where I am actually even going to come from is that I can make an argument for management committee members, right? That
But wait, don't supporters travel on the ministry's budget? The ministry's budget is supposed to be
but
different from GFA's.
but did the ministry reveal the budget they have for the supporters?
Yes,
You can write to them and seek. You can write to them.
Yes,
It's legal. You can write to them.
So you see, sometimes you see, let's not make like as people were saying, let's not make it like an argument.
Okay.
If
Go
the
on.
ministry is that willing to release what the FA has submitted as estimates, what is your budget for the supporters and all these?
Write to
people that
them.
you are
You told the ministry.
If you want
write
clarity,
to
you
them.
can write to them.
No,
Nothing is
I get
stopping
that.
you.
I get that aspect, but for the purposes of transparency, as we all want it,
Yeah.
just be transparent and say, "Oh, 50 supporters are going, and this is how much we've budgeted for them."
Fair enough.
And they're going. for
Answer the
transparency
question.
purposes.
Answer the distinction between the 27 officials and the management committee. I don't understand.
No, why? I'm not the GFA. I'm not the GFA.
I see
But
where
I'm
you want to go
coming.
with us, because ideally, if these 27 people are supposed to play a certain kind of role,
Yeah.
and we're all very familiar with this role, then we'd say, okay, these people are going to be working to inure to the benefit of the team, so they deserve to be paid. But then you'd ask questions about what then is the management committee also going to do?
Okay, so
How different is that from this 27 people? Who are these 27 people, and what is their job on, let's say, on match day, or let's say 2 or 3 or 4 days before the game is played? I think that when we get to know, then
Oh
we can-
no! On their budget, they have advanced party too. The budget for advanced. See, when you go through the budget, the budget for advanced. Oh,
You know
relax,
the
relax.
conclusion
You
I'll
see-
draw to
you see-
something like
no,
this.
hang on.
A lot of funny things have happened
Every
over the
game
years,
that we are
long and
going
short.
to play.
And we have found a very clever way of paying for things that does not make sense.
Kwame.
So someone comes in and says, hang on a minute, I've gone through every single line item. This does not make sense to me. Cut it out.
Okay.
And for me, that makes perfect sense.
No. What the minister even did. In fact, a few days ago, I texted him and said he has caused trouble across the rest of Africa, because every country is now asking their ministries to be revealing the details of their member federations and all that. I texted him a few days and I was telling him that. But the point I was trying to make earlier was that, so for instance, when Ghana is going to play Mali, Alex Asante and his team would have to go and lay the grounds and the foundation of everything before the team moves.
we understand that.
Yeah.
So that's the advanced party.
So he was saying that
27.
he was saying the 27 people, are they going to do some advanced party work? Would they go earlier? And I'm saying no,
And we need
because we only have
27
2 people
people to
who
do
go
that.
ahead.
No,
Okay.
like we need 27 people
So, no,
to do
you
that.
see-
That's the
raised
case.
his
You see, no, I was on the floor. I didn't even make my
Okay,
point.
you finish it.
I was
I haven't
going to
even
make
made
my
my
point.
point either.
I was going to make the point
Yeah.
that from where I sit, if Otuado has been engaged as a full-time coach of the Blackstars,
Yeah.
and the country pays him $50,000 every single month, whether you play a match within that month or not, you are paid, right? Because that is the contract you've signed. Why is he not receiving just per diem, but he's receiving $20,000 as winning bonuses when the team is in town?
Which is about 40% of his salary every month.
What it means is that if within
is
the month,
crazy.
the team plays 2 matches and wins both, that is $40,000. At the end of the month, he takes $50,000 in addition. That gives him $90,000 within a month for a coach who does not play matches all the time. From that aspect, I don't think it sits well with me. The ministry, Kofi Adams and his team, they can sit down and really look at these things and cut them down further. For the management committee, as I was saying, and as much as Fenty was saying, I don't subscribe to having management committee, because even previous leadership of the FA believes that this this thing is job for the boys.
Yeah.
But I can understand that if you are taking me, if you call the Fentio and goes like, oh, Fentio, I want to have Muftawu to follow us to travel to Chad or Mali for an event because we believe that Muftawu can contribute A, B, C to the team. At the end of the day, you decide that, okay, Muftawu, take $3,000 or $5,000 for what you've brought to the team. I can understand that for management committee members because they are not paid, like, it's not a permanent job for them.
No.
They are not paid monthly salary
No.
for what they contribute to the team. I can understand their aspect that will give them something. But the full-time staff of the FA, it's like multimedia or Fentio sending me to this place, Morocco, to go for AFCON. I've started doing politics for Fentio to send me to Morocco. It's like Fentio sending me to Morocco. And Fentio goes like, okay, Muftawu, since you're going to Morocco, instead of the per diem that we are supposed to give you, we are supposed to give you some added something.
No, do you know what? I get what you're saying. Principally, it shouldn't be so. But you see, contracts are different. I don't know the contract they have with Otoado.
No, they can review them.
There are some deals you sign with a coach. And you tell the coach that, look, like if it's a league team, you can tell a coach of Brighton that anytime you beat the traditional top 6 teams, this is a bonus for you.
A performance-based.
So Oto's contract could have had that. Anytime he wins in any of the qualifiers, a bonus of, so your salary won't be huge. What's the salary?
$50,000.
50K. So maybe your salary was maybe if you are demanding for 80K. We say okay, no, we'll give 50K. However, when we win every game, we'll pay you this bonus. So it compensates for what would that be. So these things are structured. I get it. So if it is in contract, fine. But if it's not in his deal, and we are doing it for him because we give players bonus, we feel like he's the boss. So you should get 20K. It doesn't make sense. If his agent didn't negotiate these things,
if it's not in the contract,
why are you paying him bonus? I don't know why you have money bonus.
But players don't play with contracts.
Clearly, because, and I even got one explanation from the minister where he was saying that someone asked the question, why are management committee members, because the minister says that they will give management committee members per DMs, and when the team qualifies, they will give them a package.
That's reasonable for the job they've done. Yes,
that's what the minister said. Someone asked the question, why are management committee members going to be paid based on performance of the team instead of the players? And the minister said that a player can get called up today. The next assignment, he doesn't get called up. So if we don't give him anything, it means that the player gets nothing for representing the country.
That's right.
And that the player can even get injured and will never get an opportunity of playing for the national team. You go fish,
we'll call him again.
Where you know we'll get called up for the national team again. Right. But just a quick one on the management committee there. Atsu, I think sometimes some of the conversations are a bit some way for me. Stephen Appiah. He's not an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association. I don't know whether if we consider him an official of the FA. The owner of Samatex. During Century. Moses Amapaka. These are some of the people who make up the management committee of the Blackstars. These people, like, when we give them something, because oftentimes we tag it as FA officials are those who are going to take that. I don't see Parker as an FA official.
Nobody has to be official. No. Don't redefine it.
The
role management committee, they don't deserve winning bonus. Don't redefine it.
Bonus says FA officials.
You didn't say FA officials, it said officials.
Yeah,
6.
But
it didn't add FA. In the budget, it said officials.
It just says
6 of them. And we know the officials they're talking about. Those are the management committee. Don't redefine it.
Guys. Okay, the microphone is off. The luckiest Afashe rave with Shatawale and friends is happening. The king of African dancehall, Shatawale, will set the stage ablaze alongside Wendishe, Okotoperi, Norex, and many more on Friday. That's happening later today at 7 p.m. The gates have already been opened. You can still get in. Dial *712*10# and get into the Robert Mensah Stadium. The tickets are going for 60, 200 Ghana cedis and 500 Ghana cedis. Make sure you get in there. Kwame Jumo, I have to apologize to you. You've not had enough time to speak on this. The last 5 minutes, whether you're going to... Oh, the boys, they will do
we need to talk about Monday. It's not fair to our listeners. We need to tell them what's your
But Kwame, so you decide the split. If you're going to focus more on the structure of the bonus,
you will not decide the split. You are the one driving the conversation.
I don't think at this point, especially after what transpired yesterday, I would want to give too much energy to the budget at this point. I would rather want to channel my energies into the game on Monday, because it makes a lot of difference to not just me, but to all of us. If we get a result on Monday, it puts us on a certain pedestal. If we do not get a result on Monday, it's another conversation altogether. What has happened has happened. With respect to the result, of course, nothing is going to change. At this point, we know what we saw yesterday. I'm sure the coach would have reviewed the videos, or they will be reviewing the videos between today and Monday, even if he's not going to do anything. I don't trust the coach to make any difference. When it was he alone, I didn't see a difference. He's had a whole, team added to him, and we still put in a performance like this, which was dreadful. But then again, it's only 3 games. If he's going to be approaching these games in a very special way to give us a result, we saw a performance against Chad. We're all excited about it. We saw a performance against Madagascar. We're excited about it. If I see a replica of anything close to what I saw against Chad or what I saw against Madagascar, and we get a result, and then in the 2 final games, we are good enough to qualify for North America, that's what I'm going to be excited about. These things of budgets and all these issues that we're raising, it's not like we want to ignore that. But these are conversations that even after the game on Monday we can have, because we'll be looking at the medium and the long term. For example, one of the issues that was raised by Sitsofe with respect to how much we pay the coach. Who even thought about it, that we should be giving the coach twice what the players earn, something like that? These are conversations that we can have after. There's someone who is on $50,000 every month anyway. These players will only come in as and when. So if you're giving a player something, but if you're going to be giving the coach something, and the coach something as well, and he's going to be getting twice, these are conversations that we're going to have. The bigger picture of what is in the budget, what we should be taking off, what we should add, what we should be reducing, we can still have all of these conversations after Monday, and no one will die. So for me, between today and Monday, I would want to focus on the game on Mali. Let's get our energies in there. Let's get a result, and then after Monday, even the FSA, they'll talk to us after Monday. So why should I?
What did they have to say?
We didn't force them to say that. They say they will speak to us after the game on Monday. So we are waiting to hear what they would have.
You want to use 5,000 to buy food? We say we won't pay. You come speak to us.
You say Accra Sports Stadium $2,000.
Accra Sports Stadium.
That's what I'm saying. These conversations we can even have them
facility
Monday
user
when they,
fee.
because I've seen a lot of things.
$2,000.
I've seen a full budget, and I'm like, some of them are absolute madness. I get all of that, but let's have a conversation after the game on Monday.
After the game, Fred has been raising his hand like a kid, a good kid in the classroom. Meanwhile, his school days he was talking.
Class teacher, I want to speak. Class teacher, I want to speak.
Shall I wrap up the show for us with your final words, friends?
Muftawu, let's be fair to the people. The $2,000 was for the away game, home game.
Oh no! Please. I beg, check again.
The away game, which facility did they go and rent? Which facility?
Check the document again.
Okay.
Even Accra Stadium said maybe $2,000. The Mali game, the document is inside.
Templates.
No wahala. Oh yeah. See check document.
No, but
You
in all
have-
sincerity,
friends,
we
you
should
have
also
1
state
minute
that
to
the
wrap up,
GFA
and
do
you
not
are
spend this
inviting
money.
banter.
It be the next way they spend.
You have 1 minute to wrap up, and you are
Yeah,
inviting banter.
I just want to say this, guys. Listen to me. The people at the GFA, if you want us to keep quiet about Blackstars budget and all those things, do 2 things. 1, stop taking our money to do the Blackstars. Make your own money, run the national team. We will have no opinion on how you spend the money. That is number 1. Other FAs are doing it. If you can also do that, we will shut up about how you spend the money. Number 2, next time you present the budget, put only prudent things inside. So that when the minister comes to reveal what you have put inside, we don't come and tell you that what you have put there, a lot of them don't make sense. If not, we will come back to this topic and we'll keep talking about you people and how you are conniving to siphon money from the state. That's the only explanation for some of the items you have put in there, to siphon money from the state. Every day you say ministry is spending their own money. But you have put your names there and lists there for them to pay the money to you. Why the money are they paying to me? The ministry is paying. He said the ministry is spending their own money. Spending on who? You put 26 officials there to pay per year. Who are those people? They are not team officials. They are not. Why? But because team officials are there, players are there, separate, and you have put 26 other officials to receive per year. Who are those people?
Thank you very much.
Stop it.
Thank you very
Present
much.
sensible budget.
Thank you very much, Sitsofe. Thank you, Muftawu. Thank you, Kwame, for joining us on Game Plan today. My name is Victor Atsu Tamakloe. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.